Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Well, hello everybody in YouTube land. Welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I want to empower you through the tool of astrology this week, and we are looking at the general energies in play that are going to affect us on a general level from the 16th to the 23rd of July. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy what I share here each week with the Astro Weather Report, I would love it if you would share this video with like-minded friends so that they can be empowered through the tool of astrology as well. So don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe this video and help this platform to grow. Thank you. So keep in mind as I do this reading, this is a reading for your personal passing energies. Obviously, I'm not assessing everybody's chart. It's a general read. To understand how these things are applying to you very, very personally, you would need a one-on-one reading with an astrologer such as myself. And I'm also not looking at the big collective energies of what we're living through right now. And believe me, it's full on and hectic for various reasons out there in the world. We are seeing a lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of upheaval in the collective consciousness right now, but it needs to happen even though it's a bit of a shaky ride. So what I'm speaking about today is more about what's going to affect you, how you will feel, what you might encounter, what to be aware of, what to work with in the week ahead. Before we jump into that, check out this gorgeous, gorgeous necklace. I've become an ambassador for the Ephemeris brand, and I am so excited to share this gorgeous necklace with you. If you would like a necklace like this one that has your astrology chart on it, so you can wear it and carry your energy in jewelry form with you wherever you go, then head to the website. There is a discount code there that you can use. If you go to my Astro shop, click on the beautiful jewelry promotion, there's a discount code there that you can use to get a discount off this beautiful, beautiful necklace and others like it at the Ephemeris website. So please, my fellow astrology lovers, do check this out. It is gorgeous. I'm getting one for my daughter, don't tell her, and one for all her friends for Christmas because it's just such a beautiful product. All her friends, she's a teenager and they're all into astrology, which is fantastic. So I want to share this astrology love with them by getting this product. Check it out. It's great. And get in early for Christmas. So I'm going to look now at this week's energy focuses, or at least some of this week's energy focuses. I'm not going to look at them all because there's a heck of a lot unfolding this week. I'd be here forever if I was to discuss them all with you. But if you want to know what's unfolding as the energies come up each day, then do follow along with my YouTube page. Sorry, you're already following my YouTube page, I hope. My Facebook page and my Instagram page. Follow along there and you'll get the daily updates for what energies are unfolding, what we can expect and how we can utilize them. So check out that. The links are in the Linktree banner on my YouTube page if you want to know, or in the description box. Now, on to this week's energies. Wow, the first one that we've got unfolding on the 18th of July. So we've got a sun up here in Cancer, trining Neptune down here in Pisces. So a beautiful trine forming right there. This is delightful. This is an energy for more compassion, more inspiration, and lots of beautiful energetic gifts from the higher powers, from the divine. And we really could use this now. It happens twice a year that we have this aspect forming. So it's not an uncommon aspect, but we really need this year. We need this flow. We need this divine blessing on our lives, considering everything that's unfolding on the planet right now. So we're going to be feeling more in the flow on the 18th of July, generally speaking. And as such, we might encounter some powerful people, especially men, because the sun rules the masculine energy in the world. We might encounter powerful men who might bless our lives, father figures who might, give us that miracle we've been longing for, bosses, kings, people in charge, people with a sense of, kingdom building and control over their kingdom who are going to say, here, let me help you, let me support you, let me be compassionate, Neptune, towards you to help you live a better life. Bring it. I'm so excited by this energy. So this could even take the form of spiritual teachers who are men, or artists or musicians because of the Neptune influence. People in healing professions. And look, it doesn't have to be like a man per se with man features physically. It could be somebody who is very strongly in their masculine energy, and that could be a woman. So, a woman who is in touch with her masculine side, who is being a spiritual teacher, who is being an artist, who is a musician, who's in healing professions, they can be also of blessing to you on the 18th of July in some way. Your own creativity is going to be on fire on the 18th of July, and there will be sort of those goosebump moments, of great love for your life and great love for whatever it is you're producing creatively. So you might write a poem and you just, you tingle all over with the joy of that poem, or a song, or some other creative Neptune endeavor. And the sun's very creative as well. I mean, what creates life on Earth? It's the sun and the sun's warmth and the sun's energy. So definitely a powerful day for creativity and feeling that divine delight in what you're creating. You may even get divine inspiration coming to you with your creative endeavors as well. And if you receive a message from Spirit on the 18th of July, pay attention, because your soul's inner guidance is going to be totally on point. You can trust yourself, unless you've got a really super smash chart where you have zero intuition, which is probably, if you're watching this, that will not be the case. But there are people we know who just are not in tune with anything spiritual, or they don't care about anything spiritual. Well, they're not going to get the messages from the divine on this day. But those of us who are sort of divinely in our feminine, divinely in our masculine, connected to higher realms, we are going to totally get inspiration on this day. So listen to what your gut is telling you and your instinct is telling you, because it won't lead you astray when Neptune and the sun are in this kind of connection. Also on the 18th of July, we've got a shift of energy happening, because we're having Venus up here move into the sign of Cancer. Boom. Now, Venus is not usually strong in the sign of Cancer, I have to say. I have Venus in Cancer natally, and it's not a happy place for Venus to be, which has always kind of intrigued me, because I would have thought a sign ruled by the moon, the other feminine energy, would be welcoming to a planet like Venus. But for some reason, in the teachings, especially Friendship of the Planets, Venus is not in good dignity in Cancer. But that's not going to stop the planet of love doing some nice things while it's in the sign of caring and compassion and, sensitivity, which is Cancer energy. So sensuality is a Venus energy, and our sensual experiences are going to sort of lean now towards anything that's more comfortable. So, where we might have enjoyed getting out in the warm sunshine and maybe, enjoying the breeze on our skin and that sort of thing. Now, with that, that's probably more what we would experience with Venus in Gemini. Now, when Venus moves into Cancer, it's going to be the sensual experience, the sensual joy, Venus's sensuality, the experiences of the senses of, that warm mug of hot cocoa beside a nice fire on a chilly evening, the cozy, the comforting, the familiar, the snuggling. That's more the Cancer energy, sort of like the mother hen gathering its chickens nice and close, and that feeling of safety and warmth and security. That is where our sensuality is going to feel most beautifully expressed now. So I hope you can see the difference with that explanation there. It's a very nice energy. Like, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel, safe and secure and at peace. That's what we're going to be looking for in our experiential experience of life. So during this transit, while Venus is in Cancer, we might find that we get most of our delight out of life, because Venus is what we delight in, through staying in, through being at home. Perhaps we might be creating some sentimental memories, which is a wonderful thing to do, and that's certainly part of this energy. Perhaps we're going to feel very bonded to our tribe of loved ones, and that, whatever form your loved ones may take. Maybe you have like 5 dogs and they're your loved ones, and that's your tribe. Or maybe you have a group of friends who are like-minded and they're like family to you. That's your tribe. Or maybe it actually is your literal family or your literal community that you are in, where you just feel a sense of belonging and purpose and meaning in being there. That is where we're going to feel very bonded, whatever our loved ones might look like. But more than anything, it's the experiences that we have now with our loved ones, our significant others, during this transit that are going to be more highly sensitized and become more emotional. So this is for better or worse. If you're having a loving, bonding, beautiful experience with your significant other, then that's going to be just amplified and made more wonderful. But if you're having a highly emotional experience with your lover and it's not stellar, it's less than, it's an emotional experience in the negative, well, then that can get amplified too. So we're more sensitized emotionally to our relationships while Venus moves through Cancer. And our worries about finances and about security, if we've got worries about those things, they can also be amplified now, because Venus is finances and Cancer is security. So if we're on shaky ground with those things already, then this is going to sort of amplify that sort of sensitivity to our financial shaky ground. So in preparation for this on the 18th of July, it might be a good idea to sort of just make sure that all the bills are paid and all the financial obligations are met, and you're all sorted and on solid ground for the duration of this transit of Venus through Cancer. It's it's an energy while Venus is in Cancer for saving for a rainy day. Even beautifying your home is a great thing to do while Venus is in the sign of Cancer. And giving affection and warmth to those that we love is also a lovely thing to do while Venus transits through Cancer. It's a lovely thing to do anytime, but we're going to feel better about it while Venus is in this beautifully sensitive sign. Then also, 18th of July, it's going to be such a huge day because Mercury is going to go opposite Pluto. So here is Pluto in Capricorn at the latter degrees, and Mercury, who is up here now, is going to be around about 26, 27 degrees of Cancer and go opposite Pluto. What a kicker this one is. So 18th of July, hang on to your hats, everybody. Deep breath. You might need to brace yourself with this energy, because competition amps up in realms that are to do with Mercury things: advertising, marketing sectors, administration undertakings. That everything feels intense. Everything feels overwhelming now, because that's the energy of Pluto is, pushing on that Mercury. Mercury is all those things: advertising, marketing, administration, contracts and buying and selling, and Pluto is bringing in sort of ambition and competition that stresses poor old Mercury over here in a sign it doesn't really like either. Mercury doesn't do very well in the sign of Cancer. It's unfortunate. There's a lot of planets that really don't, get on well in the sign of Cancer, and I don't know why, because Cancer is such a beautiful energy, but that's how it goes. So do you work yourself in some sort of mercurial field? Maybe you work with trade, buying, selling, insurance, general business, accountancy, administration, journalism, writing, public speaking, facilitation, general teaching. It can even be anything that you do that is sort of craftsman-like, using your hands. Maybe you're a hairdresser, or maybe you're a cabinet maker or something like that. They are connected to Mercury skills of the hands and trade. So don't be surprised if this is you, if you see some sort of manipulation or power struggles or underhanded tactics in your workplace on this day. Pluto's shadow side is really awful. Pluto is dark, and I love Pluto. I'm doing a wonderful series on Pluto at the moment. Do check it out in my playlist if you haven't already. But Pluto is in the shadow side very difficult for we earthbound beings to deal with, because it is manipulation, it is power, it is control, and in an opposition, it's happening in sort of not subversive ways, but ways that are really friction inducing. We're trying to get our balance, but there's all this difficulty, there's all this manipulation, there's all this control and power issues that are happening, and it's hard for us to find our balance. Whenever I see an opposition, it's like a seesaw. We're sort of, So people are either, putting out this dreadful vibe to us in those sorts of mercurial workplaces, or we're the ones doing it out there in our workplaces and causing imbalance in energy as well. So it can happen in, either of those ways. So that's when you work in a mercurial field. What about if you work in a Plutonian field, like psychology or grief counseling? What if you work in a funeral home or a waste management sort of area of counsel or something? Or maybe you work with something shamanic, or maybe you're a past life practitioner. Maybe you're a spy or a criminologist. Maybe you're involved in sort of a renovation industry, or maybe archaeology. These are Plutonian occupational fields. Well, if you're working in one of those fields, then you can get ready to encounter a bit of trouble with your contracts that might have to do with those fields, with your communications, Mercury, to do with those fields, with any technical services and general communication misunderstandings. Forewarned, forearmed, if you're in any of those sorts of fields, Plutonian or mercurial, there could be some upheavals and a need to rebalance your life work-wise with this energy. So it's really 18th of July in terms of this energy, a day for being forewarned, forearmed, one of my favorite phrases, which is what astrology predictions are all about. All right, let's leave the 18th of July alone and move on to something else. On the 20th of July, so only 2 days later, the Sun is going to move into an opposition with Pluto. So Pluto is getting in on the action a lot lately. Not only that, but it's coming up, I believe it's coming up this week. It's second, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's second crossing of the Pluto return point for the chart of America. So yikes. And yikes again, Sun opposite Pluto, a dark day of power struggles, control issues that are wanting to surface now again. So again, forewarned, forearmed. These two energies are very polaric. They're actually at the polaric points of the solar system. The Sun's at the center, Pluto's at the extreme outer as far as planets we use in astrology goes. Obviously, there's the Kuiper belt that goes further, and then Eris is further out than Pluto. But as far as the main planets we utilize in astrology, Pluto's the extreme. So they function a bit like the yin-yang symbol of darkness and light. The Sun is the light, quite literally, and Pluto is out there in the dark. He gets the littlest amount of the Sun's rays, the weakest rays of the Sun. By the time they get to Pluto, they're weak and they're not giving much warmth compared to what we get here on Earth. So very much in the darkness is Pluto. And so when these guys, the yin and the yang, oppose one another, you can expect exactly that, a contradiction or a pendulum, get my words out, swing of contrariness in our lives. So what might this look like for us living here on Earth? Well, we could, experience stubbornness. Either we're stubborn or people around us are stubborn. They refuse to change. They refuse to give an inch. Manipulation. I mean, we've already seen a lot of that unfolding since Pluto-Mars square, and it's going to continue with Pluto-Sun opposition. Manipulation occurring in the world. Blockage of the things that we need in our lives to move forward can happen. Blockage of warmth, if you want to get literal, like there's this, the warmth for Pluto is, very lackluster by the time it gets there. And so there's this energy of lack of warmth. Pluto is sort of controlling the amount of, in an astrological sense, controlling the amount of sun warmth that is being put out into the world. Warmth and friendliness, let's say, between people, between relationship circumstances, between business partners. There's a lack of warmth under this energy. They're just a couple of expressions, worst case scenarios. It can display as very powerful people. Pluto is powerful people, and so is the Sun, who instigate violence on others. Pluto is violence. Pluto is abuse in its most shadow side, most dark side. So powerful people displaying violence and abuse, control and manipulation. And, we've seen a lot of uprisings and a lot of changes happening politically in the world. Like I often say, I'm not a mundane astrologer, and I don't enter into the geopolitical assessment of things through astrology. I will one day, but at this point in time, it's personal astrology. That's my focus. But this energy could see, and I just mentioned briefly mundane astrology, this energy could see a lot of control and manipulation and violence coming from the powerful being put on the masses, but it's going to cause friction and it's going to cause imbalance and people just won't put up with it. So what can we do? We need to walk in mindfulness on the 20th of July. We need to sort of have a lot of present moment awareness on the 20th of July to avoid being pulled into the energetic quicksand of being the manipulator, being the controller, being the one who instigates violence and abuse. And if we're not the one doing it, we need to be very present and mindful about other people doing it to us and having the guts and the strength of character to say, well, I don't have to take that and I don't have to tolerate that, and I'm making the necessary changes in my life to leave that behind, to change my circumstances. That can be really, really scary. But for a lot of people, Sun opposite Pluto is going to be another sort of calling card or another resounding bell, that says, wake up, get out of your situation. It is not healthy, and put the boundaries in place that you need to. So unfortunately, these things occur, and we get sort of an opposition to Pluto every year, which is the universe just reminding us, come back to your power. Don't let people manipulate you. Don't let people coerce you. Don't let people dominate you. And how does it do that? By putting those sorts of people in our path so that we wake up to it and we can see what's going on. If nobody's manipulating and dominating us, why do we need to take our power back? We don't. So we're going to experience these things on the 20th of July so that we wake up and learn to take our power back again. Hope that makes sense. So mindfulness, present moment awareness, and a big, hefty dose of courage, I think, for most of us on this day. Then finally, the 22nd of July. I'm looking forward to this one because I'm a Leo sun baby. And I'm looking forward to the sun moving into the sign of Leo there. Yay! The sun's placement always gives a hint of what it needs to motivate us. And so when the sun moves into its own delightful home territory, and happy birthday to all Leo sun people for this month. When the sun moves into its delightful home territory, we get motivated by Leo things. We're motivated by joy. We're motivated by a big love in our heart, a passion, and we're motivated by our own creative expression for the sheer pleasure of creating. It sounds like good times to me. So expect to feel more radiant, expect more confidence and more energy than we might usually have in our lives for the next 30 days from the 22nd of July onwards. It's also a placement for leadership, Sun in Leo people. So if you get the opportunity to put yourself forward, do so with the warmth and the generosity that Leo is renowned for, and you will attract more success into your life if you do that, thanks to the generous energy of Leo's highest vibration. Now, Leo obviously has a shadow side as well, but let's just focus on the good stuff. Who wants to go into Leo's shadow side of pride and ego and all that sort of thing? Let's just focus on the sun giving us its most gracious energy in its own home territory, where it is powerful, where it is giving benefit and benevolence, like the king that the sun is. Wonderful. Happy birthday, Leo. So I'm going to focus on the good stuff this week. I think we've had a lot of hairy energy over the last couple of weeks that I've spoken about on my videos, and I really want to focus on something more upbeat. So we're going to look at the sun in Leo for all signs and what that's going to mean. All right, let's move on. Let's do Virgo next. Virgo, well, this energy of the 12th house lord in the 12th, in your case, which is Leo, Sun in Leo, your 12th house, I hope that's going to stay, is falling obviously in the 12th house. So when we have the 12th house lord in the 12th, there's a heavy focus on sort of spirituality. There's a heavy focus, and the sun is illuminating wherever it goes. So it's illuminating your 12th house realm. 12th house realm is divine creativity, divine inspiration, divine healing in the positive side. So those things can be sort of, have a light shone on them for you guys. So if you're a creative Virgo people, and Virgo are generally very, very creative in a practical sense, if you are a creative Virgo or in a creative occupation, then this is an empowering time for the next 30 days while the sun is here, where you're going to perhaps get some great new ideas, come up with new concepts, and get divinely inspired with your creativity, maybe with poetry, with film, with any fantasy work that you need to do, designing a fairy costume, or maybe you're a face painter at children's parties or something like that. You're going to get lots of inspiration, lots of ideas, and be really blessed in your creative output. Now, the 12th house in the shadow side is a difficult house to get a grasp on. It's where things can feel a bit out of control. Now, the sun, most blessedly though, when it moves through here, we don't feel quite so out of control, because the sun illuminates. What does the sun do? It lights up the darkness. So when things feel foggy and misty, very 12th house, we don't quite understand, we can't quite get a grip on it, then the sun comes in here and it's like, oh, I can see what I was worried about in that shadow is nothing to be worried about after all. The thing I couldn't quite understand, the thing I couldn't quite get a grip on. Now I know what it's all about. I'm cool with it. The sun illuminates. This is also the house of ancestors, angels, higher beings on the other side who might be pushing our buttons, pulling the strings, manipulating and putting us where they want us to go. But it's going to be, while the sun is here, 12th house lord in the 12th, beautiful sun energy, it's these beings on the other side are going to be doing sort of the manipulating, if you like, for the greater good, for our joy, for our love life, for our blessing, for our soul's growth. So trust whatever the universe is doing during the next 30 days, even if it feels all fated and somehow out of control. Trust, Virgo, because your ancestors are trying to do the right thing by you. So this is a moksha house. It's a liberation house. The sun might be illuminating something that you need to let go of. It could be a material thing, it could be a habit, could be a belief. But the sun in the house of moksha, liberation, is shining a light on what has to go for you to be free. So don't ignore it. Oftentimes we see where we need to let go of something, and we're like, I'm clinging to that, I'm hanging on to that, and I won't let it go. And then we suffer for it. So when the sun in the 12th house shows you where the problem is in your life, where the issue is, accept it. Accept that, okay, I have to get rid of that and do the work. Because when we do that, practice of acceptance and allow things that need to go to dissolve out of our life, that's alchemy, and that's where we up level and create greater consciousness and greater soul growth. So that's probably what this energy of the next 30 days is calling you to, Virgo. Some Virgo people might find it harder to sleep during this time because the sun is the light, in the 12th house of sleep. So it might be more difficult to get a good night's sleep for some people. You might be restless, there might be a lot on your mind, or you might just be in a state where, not insomnia, I'm not talking that sort of thing, but you might wake up a lot or that kind of thing during the next 30 days. You can be more sensitized to with the sun in the 12th house. But it's a good thing if you want to utilize this energy to put your vitality into prayer, into creative endeavors, or seeking out healing or healers for any problems you've got, any psychological healing as well. Put your vitality, put your energy into those 12th house things, and it will ultimately serve you well. So thank you, my beautiful Virgo friends. Oh, and I should mention, if you are after a beautiful piece of jewelry as a gift, maybe a gift to a Leo friend because it's their birthday with the sun in their house at the moment, check out my beautiful jewelry at the Astro Shop on my website and get yourself one of these beautiful charts in jewelry form. Love them. I pray for you every day, and I pray for my Patreon family every day because I love you, my followers, and I thank you for being there for me. I'll catch you next week with the Astro Weather Report.